guys, it's Allison here from AllisonDayDesigns.com with a slightly different Make It Monday video for you. I will be making a layout a little bit later. I've got one of my daughter's friends here for playdate, so I don't know if it's going to be conducive to a lot of filming right now. But I wanted to share my process so far in starting my Disney Cruise album. So I have several of these little notebooks, and I like to use them to keep track of things that I'm working on for my blog, or projects that I'm working on to sell at markets and that kind of thing. So I've started just jotting down some notes for my album, how I would like it to feel and look. And this is, I've got to admit, this is something that I haven't really done in the past, and I have suffered for it. I've just sort of thrown myself into a project, grabbed photos that I liked, that I wanted to tell the story of, without any forethought of how the whole project is going to look. I was just focusing on one page at a time. And then when I went back to it, the story seemed very choppy because the pages themselves didn't really relate to each other very well. So I did start working through this, and shout out to Shamel Lane and all her courses, her cover to cover class, and then her more recent one, the scrapbook process, helped me develop strategies on how to fix that problem and how to think of my album as a whole story with a start and a middle and a finish, and work from there. I will link up to some posts in this blog post. I used this process with my daughter's baby album, and I love it, and I will be working on my other two daughters' baby albums to update them in a way that is quite similar, but I wanted to start this album from the very beginning with a plan. So my plan is, this is also something that I have seen Shamel Lane do, and I don't make a lot of pocket page layouts, but I know from looking through my photos that a lot of them are not the greatest quality, and I was having an issue with my camera where there's this, it's like a hair or something on a lot of the pictures, so I've had to do some creative cropping. So I know that I'm not necessarily going to want to have a whole lot of 4x6 photos. So I've just picked up my first batch, and this is just from first day, I think, on the cruise. And one of them I have gotten enlarged. It's a photo of the sort of Vancouver harbor skyline type thing. So that is going to go, it might not even go in my Disney album. I was kind of thinking about that afterwards. I might actually make a separate layout just to talk about my love of the city. But I just want to show you that. The other photos, I've got two different sizes. So I printed off a whole bunch of square ones. See, these are not great. I don't know if you can tell. This is actually a little bit blurry because it was taken with my phone at the dining table. And then this one, I had to crop it, but you can just see the barest of shadow of this hair or whatever it was that was in the way. And then I have a bunch more that are 4x6. And not all of them show the hair. I don't know, it was kind of weird. Sometimes it would be there and sometimes it wouldn't. So, but yeah, you can sort of see it there. Anyways, so I am going to use one 12x12 layout with a matching or coordinating, I guess, pocket page layout. And I have lots of different orientations of pocket pages, and honestly, my stash of pocket page protectors is almost as great as my paper stash, and I don't know why I keep buying them, but because I never use them. All right, I've just been pulling things that I will need. So I've got all my memorabilia and ephemera from the cruise itself. And I kept the little magazine they gave us each morning just so I can sort of remember everything that went on. I have also got all the sort of Disney themed items. All the Simple Stories ones were recent purchase from Scrapbook Steals. And then in here are products left over from our Disneyland trip in 2012. Plus, I've got some cardstock in sort of appropriate colors. And I did go through my stash not too long ago, and I pulled out any papers that I thought would work with the color schemes and the feel of these stories. And one reason that I know that pocket pages are going to work for this album is because I have these snap cards. These are all 4x6, and then got little frames over here. These are photo overlays in all different sizes. And oh yes, and this one, I have a big packet. I've got the 2x3 or the 3x4 and the 4x6. But a lot of these can easily be cut down into 4x4. And also, this paper here has a lot of this sort of 4x4 or 2x2 sized cards. So I know that I have product that I can easily cut up and use in pocket pages. So that's why I wanted to go that route. So that is my plan. And I have been making notes here because I went through all my pictures, and I picked out one for the very first page, which is going to be this one, big 5x7 that was as we were getting on board. I think that's a good picture to show, to be the introduction for this album. And then on the back of that, I've got some smaller pictures, just, you know, the on our way and getting into our room and that kind of thing. And then the divided page protectors is going to be all the other photos sort of around the ship, and then those pictures from the very first meal there. Okay, so it's a lot to work with. There's a lot to do, but I'm quite excited, and I hope that this idea of mine will work. One of the reasons that I haven't done a lot of pocket page scrapping is I do find it takes me a lot longer to create the pocket pages than a 12x12. I think I'm so used to creating a 12x12 layout that it barely requires thinking. But for the pocket pages, it's almost like each pocket is its own little layout, and each pocket takes me, you know, the same amount of time it would take me to do a whole 12x12. So I do find it quite time consuming, but we'll see how we go. I might change my mind halfway through, but I kind of hope not. I think this would be, it would sort of change up my albums quite a bit. All right, so that's where we are right now. And I'm going to pull some of these products aside and see what I want to use with this photo to create my introductory layout, and then I will come back. Okay, I have got way more supplies than I need to make my layout, and I pulled in the, well, I'll just start from the top. So I went through all the packages of cards I had, and I also chopped up the cut apart sheets, and I pulled out a whole bunch of the cards that I, you know, might work, might come in handy. Little suitcase. I've got the ephemera pack, the enamel dots, the stickers in both brads. So this one is from the Say Cheese, and then everything else is from Say Cheese 2. More of those cut aparts. I've got a few chipboard frames that I think might work. And this was from the Borders one. I like the tickets But the other side works too, so I'm not really sure which side I'm going to use, if any. I've got my photo. I've got this one, because I like this, how the yellow picks things up. So I might go with that one or with this one. This one's got some gold on it. I'm not sure if that's from my my mat or not. It's a little frustrating, but it'll work because there's gold in the papers as well. Okay, so I went into my stash a little bit. This was the sheet that I had pulled aside because I want to use this word magic in the title. My title, I would like it to be Let the Magic Begin. And then I accidentally put this down on a baby wipe and it got wet and now it's ripped. So I will have to come up with a creative way of hiding that, cutting it out. I'm sure that it's not going to be a problem. And then I was trying to find a background to mat this with, and I quite like the flooring that we're on. I wanted to see if I had anything in that sort of tone, and this was the closest I could find. This is a very, very old crate paper, I believe. Maggie Holmes line. And I just have a couple of sheets left. I had the 12 by 12 pad. But anyways, so something like that with the yellow frame, we will see. And then I saw this sitting on my shelf. This is from Chamel's Starshine line, and I liked how the blues worked together. So I have a lot to work with in a very sort of rough sentiment. Oh, the other things I have my door card. I'm not sure if I'm going to put that in here or hang on to it for one of the pocket pages, but I thought I would pull that aside. I've also got this die cut that I made for my girls' autograph books. I don't have one of them to hand to show you, but if you check back on my blog, you'll see them. So I have this die cut, and then I think I still have some of the Mickey Mouse heads that fit it, but I've also got other ones that I cut for something else. So I have that to work in as well. And then these, we were handed these when we checked in, and we never actually had to use them because we basically walked right on to the boat. But it does give our stateroom numbers, and you know, maybe that'll come in handy. Okay, so that is what I'm working with. Because I don't totally have a strong idea of where this is going, I'm going to turn the camera off. I find it a lot easier to be creative when I'm not under pressure, so I will do that, and then I will come back and show you where we're at. Okay guys, so this is where we are at right now. Kind of looks like a bit of a hot mess, but I have made a few decisions, and then I have sort of decision paralysis with a few other things, which I think happens to a lot of us. So I'm just going to pull these little die cuts aside while I go through the rest of it. So I started with my background, and to fix this sheet, which had the little damaged spot in it, I decided to try something that I have been seeing a lot of lately, and that is putting these sort of giant photo corners on. And because I wanted to keep this whole design element, because I want to make this into my title, this corner is definitely a lot bigger than this corner, but you know what, it kind of works for me. So I trimmed this one down so I have the border of the yellow, and then I did play with whether or not I wanted to keep that border all the way around, but in the end I decided I liked it better like that. And then I took, this was a 6x8 cut apart, and I cut it apart. So I thought maybe I could try and fix the angles on it, and if I kind of tuck it like that and then flip that one around and tuck it under. Something like that. Because to be honest, I'm a right angle kind of gal. So yeah, something like that, and I'll trim it up. And then I wanted to bring in that blue, so I cut another piece of paper there, and then it can pretty much kind of go in the middle, or I could maybe tuck it under here somewhat. Just moved everything because nothing's adhered. And then move it over. We will play with that. And then some of the other things I went through, the ephemera pack. This one. Pulled out a few things. This is a little arrow that says we're going to, so I can put Alaska on that. There's a say cheese. There's a cute little suitcase. I had cut out this. So I'm not sure which one I want to use, or even if I want to use it on this one. The pocket page that I will do, sort of my third layout into the album, is going to be about sort of getting there. I didn't take any photos of us with our suitcases, but having a suitcase die cut or a suitcase card might come in handy there. But anyways, I pulled that out, see if it works on the layout. I've also pulled out some of the hearts to go with that heart. That one is the middle of this camera, so I did pull out the camera. I want to bring out more gold, and I got a couple of the gold die cut hearts as well. This card, I actually think I'm going to cut out the little words and fit them in here somehow. And what else have I got? I opened up the stick. Oh, yes. So I had my little welcome aboard cards, and this is from the one little border strip. So I just cut out the ticket that was at the end. I thought that would make a nice little grouping. These are the sticker and accent sheets, and there might be a few on here that I can use. I'm not sure about the words. The cream does go, but because I've got a few other white accents, I think I might like to add in a bit more white and stay away from the cream. A little Minnie's bow would be good, because this is Minnie, not Mickey. And I also remembered in my stash, I have the Say Cheese alphabet and word sticker sheet. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this for my title. I might. So that is kind of where we're at. I did try and work this guy in. It just wasn't working the way I envisioned it. So I think I will keep this for another page, or maybe even the front of the album. But I will definitely hang on to that. And then I do have my frames. I haven't figured out a way to work these frames in yet. So I am still very much playing, and I'm not sure how much playing I want to do on camera, because I feel like it can be a little bit boring. So I think what I will do right now is I'm going to get my sort of basic layers stuck down and figure out the placement for that. I'll work out all the funny angles and everything, figure out the placement for that, and I think because my title is going to have to fit in a very specific spot, I will get that down first, and then I can start playing with all the little bits and pieces. Alrighty, so let's do that. push all this stuff off to the side. And normally I would ink all my edges, but I just don't think I'm going to do that this time. I don't think that it really needs it. I might regret that. And it doesn't mean that I won't ink things later on in the album, but I think for now I will leave it. So as you can see, it's got some funny angles. I'm just going to take my scissors, wherever they have disappeared to, there, and I'm going to trim off that funny angle, and I'm going to trim off this bit, and I'm not going to worry that that is at an angle. Trim off that bit. And then I'll just have to remember that there's this gap right there, and make sure I put embellishments to hide that bit. It is definitely starting to feel like it is coming together. What I have done is I have tucked our little welcome aboard tickets in there, and I was sort of playing with the placement of the frame. I wanted to be able to frame the welcome aboard and then our stateroom numbers, and then I've put pop dots on the bottom half of this ticket, and then I can adhere it over there. I don't really care that I'm covering up the hello, that doesn't bother me at all. I pulled out some really old alphabets. These are from my kit of supplies for my Disney 2012 album, which desperately needs to be worked on as well. And so I'm going to use those to finish my title. And then I've got a few of the little ephemera bits in place. I have one other of the frames, this red polka dot one, I just couldn't seem to fit in anywhere, so I'm going to leave that for another layout. But I am going to back this. I'll just trim this down a little bit so it fits behind the frame, and then I can pop up the say cheese and maybe add a heart or something up there. I'll add my Alaska there, and I cut out those little words from another card. And I want to add some light blue. So my thinking behind these embellishment clusters, I wanted to have, like over here I've got the light blue and the red. I don't have any of the yellow in here, but I can always bring that in with maybe a little bit of gold. I do have the yellow referenced here. And then up here, of course, I've got the yellow and the light blue. So I want to make sure that I bring in some red. And down here, I've got lots of red with the heart and the little suitcase. So I want to bring in some light blue. And there's a couple of stickers in the sticker sheet that have some light blue. So I've got a cloud I can pull in, and then this one, it says the whole gang. So I can maybe put that on a pop dot. And then I can figure the rest of it out. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to finish off putting in my title here. And these are foam, and they are like navy with glitter. I thought at first they were black, and I was worried that it would be too dark, because I have the odd touch of black, but it's not a dominant color. The dominant color is really that blue. And so I was pleased that these are blue and not black. I was just looking at that thinking that maybe I want to add, you know, Alaska under here. I am going to finish the rest of this and see if it still needs it. It feels like it needs something, so I will wait until the very end. So I'm going to get these guys adhered, find my glue dots. So I'm not sure if you are aware, but everything is just slightly on a bit of an angle. This photo is very much up and down. It's pretty central to the page, but I would like to have everything else just be on the tiniest bit of an angle to create some movement, which adds some energy and some fun, because it's a Disney cruise, so fun had to be had by all, right? So I'm just trimming a little bit off. I'm just using my scissors. I'm trimming maybe 1/8 of an inch off so that it will fit in here just perfectly. And then I can use my regular adhesive on the back of this. So I do want to have it connect. And again, I just want the slightest bit of an angle. And then this one, I think I will have it flat here and pop up that bit. Now let's get my light blue down first. That's my base layer. And I want to connect the two reds. So one red is up here. And then I can put that. I think I'll put this one up on Pop Dots as well. Okay, so now I will look for areas that don't feel complete to me. I'm not going to put a ton of journaling on this. This is my introductory page. I don't feel it needs a ton of journaling because there will be lots later on. I had more hearts. Yes, here they are. So let's put a gold heart down here. Red heart over here. I brought out this gold camera too, but I don't think I'll include that in this one. I'll save it for another one. I did want that, the whole gang. Okay, so now I'll look at what each each area of embellishment is missing. So this one is missing yellow and this one is missing yellow. So let's see what we have. You know what, I haven't looked at my brads or at this. Maybe there's some phrase. No, the yellow phrases don't really work. I could use the numbers, put the date, or maybe even put Alaska. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay. So, into my other spaces, let's take a look at my brads. There's a sticker from the sticker sheet that I thought maybe I could add in beneath this, the whole gang. Add a little bit more yellow. Not sure about the brad. It needs something, but I'm not sure about that brad. Maybe just some enamel dots would do the trick. I feel like I need some red down here. Let's see what I have on my... So I've changed my mind with the brads. I'm going to add enamel dots instead. If I had been adding a brad in each of the little clusters, then I think I would have been a bit happier. But since I'm not, I am going to go with adding my yellow in with some enamel dots here. Okay. I think that is where I'm going to call this one done. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And this, like I said at the beginning, is going to be the introductory page for my whole entire cruise story. I still need to find an actual album to house my cruise story, but at least I have one layout for it now. So stay tuned for the rest over the next however many weeks it takes me to get this all finished. And thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.